The year is 1587. A new world beckons, a land of untouched wilderness and boundless promise. For over 100 brave English men, women, and children, it was a beacon of hope. The chance to forge a new life, a new beginning far from the familiar shores of England. They sailed with dreams of prosperity, fueled by the ambition of Sir Walter Raleigh and the crown of Queen Elizabeth I. Their destination, the shores of what is now North Carolina, a place known as Roanoke Island. But this dream, so vibrant and full of life, would soon descend into a chilling enigma, becoming America's oldest, most haunting, unsolved mystery. A mystery that continues to baffle historians and thrill seekers to this very day. Under the leadership of Governor John White, the colonists arrived in July 1587. Their initial goal was to establish a permanent settlement named the City of Raleigh on the Chesapeake Bay. However, for reasons still debated, their pilot, Simon Fernandez, diverted them to Roanoke Island, a location that had seen a previous failed English attempt. Undeterred, the settlers began the arduous task of building their new home. They cleared land, constructed simple dwellings, and planted crops, striving to create a foothold in this wild, untamed land. Life was undoubtedly harsh, but their spirit was high. Yet paradise soon revealed its thorns. Supplies dwindled, tensions with local Native American tribes flared, and the harsh realities of wilderness survival began to set in. By August, mere weeks after their arrival, the situation became precarious. Recognizing the dire need for provisions and more settlers, Governor White made a monumental decision. He would return to England to gather aid. It was a heart-wrenching farewell, leaving behind his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and his granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. He promised to return swiftly within a few months at most. But fate, or perhaps the geopolitical landscape, had other plans. When John White reached England, he found his homeland embroiled in a fierce conflict with Spain. The Spanish Armada, a massive fleet, was preparing to invade England. Every available ship, every able-bodied sailor, and every resource was requisitioned for the war effort. White's pleas for his desperate colony fell on deaf ears. Month after agonizing month passed, transforming his promised few months into an agonizing 3 years. The war consumed England, trapping White and sealing the fate of the Roanoke colonists in an agonizing limbo. August 18, 1590. Exactly 3 years after he sailed away, John White finally returned to Roanoke. It was his granddaughter Virginia's 3rd birthday. But as his boat touched the sand, a chilling silence hung in the air. There were no welcoming shouts, no children running to the shore. The village was eerily still. White and his men rushed to the settlement, but what they found defied explanation. The houses hadn't been destroyed by fire or war. They had been carefully taken down. The area was surrounded by a heavy fort-like palisade. It looked as if the settlers had prepared for something or had left in a hurry. Then they found it. Carved into a prominent wooden post was a single word in all capital letters, Croatoan. On another nearby tree, the letters Kiaro were etched. White had instructed them that if they ever had to leave, they should carve the name of their destination. If they were in danger, they were to add a Maltese cross. But there was no cross, just that one mysterious word. White believed the word Croatoan meant the settlers had moved to nearby Hatteras Island, then known as Croatoan Island. He desperately wanted to search there, but the elements were against him. A massive storm began to brew, the seas became violent, and his ships lost their anchors. Low on food and fearing for their lives, the crew forced White to abandon the search and return to England. He never saw his family again. He died a few years later, haunted by the silence of Roanoke. For over 400 years, the question remains, where did they go? The integration theory. Many historians believe the settlers simply ran out of food and joined the local Croatoan tribe to survive. Over generations, they blended in. The massacre theory, some suggest they were attacked by a rival tribe or Spanish soldiers who didn't want the English in the New World. The lost at sea theory. Maybe they tried to sail back to England in small, fragile boats and were swallowed by the Atlantic. Today, Roanoke remains a ghost story etched into the soul of America. Was it a story of survival or a tragic end? Every time the wind whistles through the trees of North Carolina, some say you can still hear the whispers of the 115 souls who vanished into thin air. What do you believe happened? Leave a comment below.